Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So, World Tournament kind of pushed everything back. I would have liked to have gotten this out a couple of days ago. Because of the close proximity actually to Super Vegito and Buu to Blue Kaioken Goku, I wasn't able to update this with just their EZAs. So, this update is going to be these three EZA TURs, Buu, Super Vegito, and Blue Kaioken Goku. I definitely have seen enough from the three of them to determine sort of what like an EZA top 10 would look like now, right? So let's just go ahead and jump in. Now remember, we're starting to get a lot of new EZA characters, so I know people have favorites, but like they're gone by now, right? Like, let's get started. So we're gonna start with the physical Dragon Ball Super Broly. I think that Broly, unlike most of the characters on this list, is probably going to get used the most just because he is a great World Tournament unit. I feel like the favorite character I have for World Tournament is actually the Metal Cooler movie Piccolo. I feel like his guaranteed crits is just like the strongest there is, right? And the orb changing and the auto supers. But this guy's right there too. Like, I feel like you for max points, you want to run full LRs, but running this guy and that STR Metal Cooler movie Piccolo, it just works so good. In terms of running this guy in like red zone content, cell max, stuff like that, like with type advantage, he'll be good. He could do a lot of damage, but he just doesn't have the tools, I think, to be able to eat any significant damage from bosses, which is why we have him down here. I find damage is just very easy to come across from good characters, and Broly just being a damage character, it's not enough for me to place him that highly. So next we have the Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. I feel like Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, Broly, and even like Int Kid Goku are actually pretty close in terms of like what they're able to do with some of the attack numbers, defensive numbers, blah, 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 blah. They've got, I just feel like they're not really like separated very much, right? Bardock, I could put above the three with his powerful support. I feel like Power Beyond Super Saiyan is a category that is getting stronger too. I mean, obviously it's a good concept for a category. We're always going to be getting, tons of, Super Saiyan 2, 3, 4, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, right? Like all these types of characters, we're constantly going to be getting new, powerful, strong versions of these characters. So Bardock's support is pretty good. He's on a lot of category teams. Again, like Broly, he has no defensive viability whatsoever. He's got none. He will get crushed. But with his support, I mean, he is fairly decent. Maybe you could put Broly in front of this guy or this guy in front of Broly. I give it to Bardock because of his support, though. All right, next we have AGL Metal Cooler. It's funny, I like Metal Cooler a lot more than these two, right? Like, I don't have them split up. We'll get to the section where I have it based on tiers. I don't have them split up in there, but I do like Metal Cooler much better. Metal Cooler is very strong. I think it's probably, you could say the same thing about him. Like, this guy will easily tank normals a lot of times once he's built up. He's not going to be going too crazy against boss super attacks. But I feel like, with his strong links, like Big Bad Bosses and stuff like that, Thirst for Conquest, he's going to get a lot of stats with a lot of these other, cooler characters, Frieza characters. Wicked Bloodline is still very powerful. The game has not jumped like a huge meta or a huge difficult power creep since, all the coolers came out with the Worldwide Download Celebration. We're pretty much just in the same thing, right? Not like the 7th anniversary, which I was expecting it the whole time. I still see people debate this, but it's very obvious that Red Zone and the huge jump, it was because of the increase in leader skills. I mean, it's very obvious if you just look at the fact that they had not updated leader skills in years, then they finally do, and then they accompany it with a huge event difficulty increase, right? So, pretty clear. But because of this, this character, like, he's fine, on Wicked Bloodline. And I don't feel like I need to shake up my list because, like, there's a new difficult meta or anything like that. It's just, it isn't the case. Hasn't really happened. So next we have Physical Future Gohan. At this point, some of the list doesn't really change, right? Then next we have, STR Namek Goku right here. Now, Future Gohan, I do see a lot of people don't like him. I mean, I guess I can get it. He does take a couple of turns to build up. Future Gohan is certainly not as strong in this meta as he was when it was just, Red Zone, Broly, and Omega, which took longer. Right now, I mean, we are in kind of like a shorter, difficult event meta, and it's like 30% damage reduction is not enough. He does need, a good 2 or 3 turns where his damage reduction gets pretty big. He does also need to be with future Trunks at this point. LR Vegeta and Trunks are what handles that. If there was more Trunkses, right, than just Vegeta and Trunks, sure. But Vegeta and Trunks is still one of, the top 5 best units in the game. So this guy is still relevant as long as there's a huge Trunks. Damage reduction, of course, we know how strong that is. Namek Goku, you can get to a point where you transform into Super Saiyan, and he's guarding and stacking defense, and he can be pretty good. But you do have to jump through a fair amount of hoops to get there, right? First, you have to get through this, which this is not... it's not that tough, but, it's not like you could just guarantee when you're going to get this, right? So you jump into Super Saiyan form, and then you got to get your guard as well. And then he does stack defense, and he can be pretty effective. I've also been able to win some tough red zone fights based off of this Goku double orb changing and then creating a lot of orbs for us once I then reverted back to base. So I like this Namek Goku. He's got some skills and stuff like that, but I think some of the recent EZAs are better. Now, next, this guy is very tough to rank. I don't know. I didn't want to put him below Future Gohan or Namek Goku. It's tough. I do feel like this guy needs to be represented. I feel like people rate his badness. This is not like a Raditz type character or an Angel Golden Frieza. It's just that this guy's value, I would say, is not right now. Whereas, a lot of these characters are going to be best right now, this guy will be better later on, probably. Well, we'll see, right? But if we get another difficult event meta jump, this guy is still going to be able to double-digit tank normals, whereas a lot of these characters on here won't. If we would get a jump, Broly and Bardock are just, frauds that are gone. See ya. Goodbye, right? But, Boss is getting stronger. This guy will probably still be double-digit tank in their normals. Now, this guy does die, instantly to any super attack, but to be fair, sort of most of the characters on this list anyway, right? Even EZA STR Cooler, he gets super, you're dead. The problem here, though, is that where EZA STR Cooler, I think, is a good comparison because, oh, by the way, he's the next one up, so we might as well pull him up, I guess. But Cooler, right, he's stacking, right? He can get to a point where he tanks normals from these bosses pretty easily, but, I mean, he's also got the very powerful support. It's just Vegito right now, yeah, it's nice he could tank normals, but, the characters that are great are the ones that can handle super attacks. That's what makes characters great, being able to deal with these boss supers. So while Vegito, I like him, I like his defensive ability and stuff like that, I don't know. What's funny is you could keep this Vegito's exact kit, give him Scouter on his turn, and this guy's number 1 on this list. Even with who's that one, this guy would be 1. This guy with a Scouter would be just so obscene. But I guess they just didn't want to go all the way there. I don't know. Seems weird. They couldn't give this guy a Scouter, but then the other EZA TUR on this anniversary, or one of them is okay. I just don't see why they didn't give him a Scouter. But again, bosses start getting a lot stronger. This guy will still be able to hang in there against their normal attacks. So don't act like this guy... in Angel Golden Frieza is just completely 100% dead on release. Worst EZA we've seen in quite... I don't know. If I put up the worst EZAs ever, that in Angel Golden Frieza is up there, right? This guy's not like that. Cooler's still good, right? Defensive stacker, support. He's still on some of the best teams in the game. These, Wicked Bloodline villain teams. Not really too much to talk about with Cooler. Just he's very good, right? Still just a strong character. We've talked about him a lot. His defensive stacking and support is very good. Very, very strong combo. There were times that I felt like this guy was, it's starting to get overrated a little bit in how people were talking about him, but he still was the best EZA TUR by far. But we've now had some recent super strong EZA TURs. Next, we have Super Buu here. Now, Super Buu is a true EZA TUR, like a lot of, the EZA TURs over the last year, where there's a huge amount of RNG in what happens with this guy. So he sucks in base. keep, coping and pulling out bullshit. What, dude, he just sucks in base. He sucks. So turn 5 is when he gets good. And turn 5, right now, I mean, here's the thing. Right now, turn 5 is pretty deep into the fight. Like, when I was doing this guy's world tour, I feel like I'm usually having, like, 1 turn as Buhan. Maybe 2 turns, right? Like, it's not, like, it's pretty deep into the fight that you transform, where this guy just, like, sucks. He just outright sucks in base. Now, if you get Buu Gotenks by being in between, what is it? 79% to 50%. If you're in this range, it's just like this guy's like worse Broly. It's like what this guy becomes, essentially. This guy sucks. This guy's terrible. Awful. Buu Piccolo is pretty decent because you got 50% damage reduction and he's supporting. Strong combo, but he's still not the greatest. Buhan. Buhan gets really, really nasty. This is a very strong mechanic on powerful characters. 50% attack and defense for 3 turns is super, super strong. And then he also has a 70% chance to guard. I do feel pretty good about 70% chance to guard, but he has 70% chance to guard, and he could triple super while dishing out, like 11, 12, 13, 14 million attack stats. Huge defense, guarding. He has a great villain link set, right? Like, this guy can be pretty strong. If you get Buhan out, like, Buhan is like, maybe 1, but it's like you have to get to turn 5 to transform into Buhan. Buu Gotenks sucks. So if you get him, it's just like, well, great. Like, now he's like worthless. He's not that impressive at all. Like, this guy, like, by the time you get to turn 5, you're against the final phase of the boss probably. And you're using this guy against the final phase of some of these bosses. Yeah, GG. Good luck. This Buhan, or this Buu Tanks provides, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. They just had to, they must have decided, like, we got to balance this guy a little bit, so we'll just make Buu Gotenks terrible. If that's really what it is, I'm okay with it, because this guy, he really is that guy. This guy, right here, he is. So, they made this dude suck, so that this guy's crazy, sure, I guess that's fair. And, as much as you might want to cope, this guy's very unimpressive. Like, you're not getting much out of him at all. All right, so next, we have Gogeta. I mean, at this point, we could almost talk about number 1 as well. Gogeta's just good. I think that base Gogeta, base Super Buu, and Cooler, at the start of the fight, STR Cooler, these guys are similar, I guess, like, defensively and offensively and, like, sort of what they're doing. But Cooler has his great support, which is fantastic, but Gogeta's got a high chance to dodge, right? And if we're comparing Gogeta directly to Buu, Gogeta transforms 1 turn early, which matters because these fights typically are shorter, not longer, right? Blue Gogeta then gets the guaranteed crits, a 70% chance to dodge. Super good character. I have to change him to a full dodge build. I still haven't done it, but you definitely want to do it because this guy's value is his dodge, but he could do decent damage as well. I do like this Blue Gogeta. I think he's very good. And as much as I'd love to have him at 1, I mean, let's be real. So, Blue Kaioken, right? Now, I hate this character, obviously. I am not an offensive character favor or stan or anything like that. I just feel like playing it like these like offensive builds where you're spamming. First off, using items to gauge characters, I feel like is incorrect anyway, considering any character can do anything if you have the backing of items, so we're not even really separating units at all from what is good and what is not. Then Dokkan themselves are limiting items. They're making events more difficult by limiting items. First we went to 2 items, then we went to 1 item, and now we went to only a Senzu against Cell Max. I mean, it's very clearly evaluating characters without items is the correct decision, considering the way the devs are balancing difficult content is by taking items away. So obviously, evaluating these characters without items, again, is the correct way to go about this. I think defense is better than offense, right? All this. But, I mean, this guy's just too strong. He's just too strong. Like, to ignore. Like, you can't. Like, you get the Spirit Bomb off and you win. Against every fight in the game. It's not like, oh, but Broly, no, he dies. Oh, but Selma, no, he dies. Like, it's just, they all die. Like, this guy gets the Spirit Bomb off, they all die. Like, there's no discussion about that. He just kills him. So, it's like, you can't not have this guy at the top. You can't. Now, there is a bit of a flaw in that you do have to have your 3 reps of Universe 7 allies. Now, whew, sorry, I sneezed, but got the mic muted. Okay. So, Blue Kaioken, the page for, oh no, okay, it did load. He needs 3 reps of Universe 7 allies here. Now, reps of Universe 7, basically all these characters suck, right? HLUI Goku, I'd vaguely put him at like top 50-ish in the game, right? Or something like that must have been where he was on my Raditz tier list, right? Somewhere in there, but keep in mind, he would have dropped like 10 spots just from when I did that video because of all the anniversary characters, right? But like this UI Goku's like top 50-ish. The rest of this is a complete throwaway, basically. This guy's okay. Like you're pretty decent. You know, you've got dodge. This guy's got utility, but for the most part, this is a completely dead category. So it is like a yin and yang where, yeah, this guy's like the strongest offensive unit in the game, and he can literally solo win fight. Defense is better than offense, but then there's the rare exceptions where there's an offense so crazy that he literally will just win the fight, right? And he doesn't need items to back it up or anything like that. The thing about Reps Universe 7, it is a valid criticism. You have to bring these characters, sure, but at the very least, 70% chance to dodge, 70% chance to dodge. You just bring the UI Gokus, who their only value is dodging and not taking damage anyway. So oftentimes it does work because you're bringing UI Gokus who aren't getting hit. Right? And, you know, I'm not one of these smartasses who goes, we gotta give a full crit so we can do maximum damage on UI Goku, who will be doing 2 million attack stats. Like, no, you give him full dodge, man. The only purpose, you dodge, and then you kill everything. That's the way you do it. Remember, he's greatly stacking attack. They shorted up so that you can guard until you can build up and then drop the Spirit Bomb. It's crazy. This guy actually has incredible design. Like, they made it, he's so busted, but there is, you know, a cost of that, and that's, you know, you have to build your team around it. I do think that this is one of the best design units we've seen, like, probably period, really. Now, we'll see. The Universal Survival Saga character, like, dude, you know what Legends just got where they got that blue Goku that revives into UI Goku? I mean, we get that on Dokkan, and what do you think happens with this guy, right? Like, you know, it's pretty crazy. I don't anticipate a huge power creep anytime soon. So it's like this guy could be even better soon. Like realistic. And again, I would say it's very realistic because if we pull up Universal Survival Saga, which, again, you need it. This guy only guards with Universal Survival Saga ally on rotation, right? At no point during the first 5 turns, if there's not a TOP character there, he's not guarding, right? You want to keep that in mind. The 2 oldest DOKKANFEST characters that have not EZA'd are STR Jiren is the oldest. Second oldest is Physical MVP 17. We're getting a Universal Survival Saga celebration soon. Now, we do need Reps Universe 7 for Goku specifically, but I'm just telling y'all, man, it's like this guy is one. You guys, I'm the biggest. I literally go on, you know, you can't rank by items, and defense is way better. But it's like, you can't deny this guy. You can't. Like, this guy's number 1 for sure. You cannot deny Blue Kaioken. You can't. I'm the biggest defense over offense guy. I love dodge, all that stuff. It's like, he's one, man, on against these characters. Like, you just gotta. You gotta accept it. Like, you can't, you know? And I think it's important to gauge characters by right now. Like, yeah, we could put some bonus points towards the future, right? With Super Vegito, maybe if I wasn't thinking about the future, I'd drop him a bit, but he still deserves to be here. It's important to talk about now. And right now, Blue Kaioken Goku he solos the game. He really does. Currently, the difficult content meta is perfect for him. Perhaps we get a theoretical super long difficult fight that's like 20 turns or something like that, but we've been thinking about this since last July and it's not shown up. So I mean, should we really be assuming it's going to happen? If it does, it'll hurt this guy, and then, like, you know, Cooler would be buffed. But I don't know. I don't know. As of things are right now, this guy is just like way better. Because it's like Gogeta is so strong with a 70% chance to dodge. Can definitely win you the fights. But like Blue Kaioken actually can win the fight by himself. It's literally just as long as the other characters don't completely sell and die, he wins the fight for you by yourself. So, and then looking at the last one we did here, nothing drastic here. Basically, just the new characters slide in, right? Like these three out down here were just pushed off, and then newer characters come in. So there we go. There is the top 10 EZA TURs. Again, trust me, you know, just like this offensive powerhouse character, I'd love to undercut him to be like, nah, you know, defense is just too important. But, you know, he's just that guy, man. You just have to accept it, right? You could say, yeah, you got to bring the sucky Reps Universe 7 characters, but, I mean, you could bring the UI Gokus who dodge. And, you know, they're not really, like, hurting you that bad, unless you're fighting Broly. But, I mean, the Blue Kaioken strat still works fine against Broly, too. I don't know, man. It's just, I just feel like it's clear as day. Like, I feel like you're lying to yourself if you're not going to put this guy at number 1. I just don't, he's too strong right now. Right now. With what we have currently. All these Cell Max and these bosses, I just don't see how you can't put him at 1. I see no argument. No convincing argument. Because you could say you have to bring the shitty Reps Universe 7 units. It doesn't matter. Like, he just wins the fight by himself. I don't know that's like maybe if there was no Reps Universe 7 like characters, like they're just taking 500k per normal, but it's not like that. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.